Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nama saya HASRIANI dari kelas BIK 2A. Consonant Sounds 2. S and Z. S is usually spelled S or S, and sometimes S. Listen and say these words: S, seat, sister, bus, S, class, classes, S, city, circle, pencil, place, police, pronouns, skies, skin sort. The letter X is usually pronounced X. Listen and say these words. 6. Next. Listen and say these phrases and sentence. 1. Summer in the city. 2. Have you seen my glasses? 3. So I'll see you in the same place next Saturday. 4. I saw your sister on the bus yesterday. 5. My science lessons were the most interesting. Z is usually spelled S or Z, and sometimes S or Z. Listen and say these words: S, gives, sisters, easy, husband, roses. Z, zero, size, skin source. Just. Listen and say this sentence. 1. What time does the zoo close? 2. A. My favorite music is jazz. B. Really? Well, it's always interesting, but it is not always easy to listen to. 3. Roses are my favorite flowers. Listen and repeat this poem. 1 day, Mondays to Fridays. Get up, walks to the station, waits for the train, gets off at the fourth stop, walks to the office, sits in the office, has lunch, sits in the office, walks to the station, comes home, thinks 1 day. Saturdays and Sundays. Get up late, does the washing, goes shopping, comes home, watch TV, goes out, eats out, comes home, watch TV, thinks 1 day. 1 day, get up early, goes to the station, waits for the train, doesn't get off at the fourth stop, doesn't get off at the fifth stop, stays on the train. Where does it go? Watch through the windows. S and Z. S is usually spelled S. Listen and say these words: shop, fashion, cast, fresh, wash, mushroom. But sh is sometimes spelled in different ways. Listen and say these words: ocean, machine, delicious, special, sugar, sure, Russian, Russia, the international. Listen and say this sentence. 1. This is a very special pronunciation machine. 2. All our food is fresh, and we serve delicious international specialties. 3. A. You didn't put sugar in my tea, did you? B. No. A. Are you sure? There are not many words with sh is usually spelled C or S. Listen and say these words: television, Asia, usually. Listen and say this sentence. A. Do you like sport? B. Yes, but only on television, usually. And is usually spelled t or t. Listen and say these words: ship, choose, march, which. The future question: t, catch, watch, kitchen. Listen and say this sentence. 1. Which question did you catch in the exam? 2. The picture in the kitchen is by a Czech artist. T is usually spelled t, k, g, or t. Listen and say these words: t, temp, jacket, jeans, job, jet, k, general, h, large, t, fridge. Note: the name of the letter Ch is Ch, and the name of the letter Ch is Ch. Listen and repeat. Listen and say this sentence. 1. Was what wearing a large orange jacket? 2. Were some juice in the fridge? 3. Language are a bridge between people. Is usually spelled or but sometimes or Listen and say these words: me, more, lemon, swim, film, some, sometimes, summer, come, autumn. Listen and say these phrases: 1. Sometimes in summer. 2. More for you, much for me. 3. In the middle of the film. Is usually spelled but sometimes or Listen and say these words: new, no, sun, one, gone, dinner, sunny, new, no, knife. Listen and say these phrases: 1. A sunny afternoon. 2. Sun and moon. 3. 9 months. Is usually spelled Listen, the letter is pronounced if there is a k or k after it. Is sometimes example singer, and sometimes example finger. Is always pronounced. Listen and say these words: evening, long, sing, singer, ting, bank, thanks, ting, uncle, angry, finger, hungry, longer, single. Listen and say these phrases: I thinking about things too. A long evening singing songs. 3. A hungry man is a unhungry man. Is usually spelled, but it is spelled is a few words. Listen and say these words: head, hair, help, hot, how, behind, who, was, wool. A few words begin with a silent letter. Is Listen and say these words: how, honest. Listen and say this sentence: 1. Hi, hello, how are you? 2. What's hot in this? Is this? 3. It's hot in here. 4. We had a whole month's holiday. 5. Can you help me for half an hour? 6. Who's who? Sometimes you don't hear an sounds at the beginning of he, him, her, hers, his, have, has. Listen. 1. Is he there? 2. Have you seen him? 3. Has he got time? 4. Do you know here? 5. He went to visit his family. L is spelled L or L. Listen and say these words: learn, live, language, lovely, alone, feel, help, English, tall, well, yellow. List is long at the end of some words. Listen and say these words. People, simple, uncle, cold. Listen and say this sentence. 1. When shall we leave? 2. Are you alone? 3. How do you feel? 4. Can I help you? 5. Look at those lovely little yellow flowers. 6. Learning a language can be difficult for some people. Er is usually spelled or and sometimes Listen and say these words. Red, ready, really, right, road, room, ferry, sorry, rub, reach, red, right, written, road. Listen and say these phrases and sentence. 1. What are you reading? 2. I'm reading. Sorry, your room is not ready. 3. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. 4. Too much reading makes my wrist itch. 5. Traveling by ferry. 6. Wrapping presents for Christmas. W and t. The sound w is usually spelled w or and sometimes and these are some words with other spelling of w. Listen and say these words. Weak, wet, why, warm, well, weather, windy, away, always, 12. Swim, what, white, which, were, one language, question, quit, score, not. Ko is often pronounced ko, not. Is not pronounced in some words. Listen and repeat. Answer to wo, wall, right, wrong. Listen and say these phrases and sentence. 1. Swimming in warm water. 2. 21 words. 3. What's the answer? 4. Quarter to 12 on Wednesday. 5. 22 language. 6. The wrong word. 7. The whole word. 5. 8. Question and answer. 9. Where will you be waiting? It often spelled U or O. Listen and say these words. Yes, yesterday, year, young, usually students. University, new, few, interview, beautiful, cook, Europe, Europe. Listen and say these phrases and sentence. 1. A young university student. 2. A beautiful view. 3. Waiting in a queue for an interview. 4. The European Union. 5. I usually walk to work, but I used the car yesterday. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.